TV. The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Variety Channel. For more information about our network and to check our additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericavariety.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Do you feel beautiful? Do you look beautiful? Does one really affect the other? Welcome to Beauty Inside and Out with host Bonnie Bonadeo. In our show, we'll help you uncover your true self and unleash beauty that you never knew existed in order to be at your best, both inside and out. Now, here is your host, Bonnie Bonadeo.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to February 2019. That is amazing. I think that we all kind of had this vision of 2020, and I think the vision was we'd all be, flying around in jets and cars and, having more of this futuristic approach to things. But the truth is, life kind of carries on. And with technology that we have today and the opportunity to be able to connect with people from all different parts of the world is really what I think the future is all about. And so I want to give a big shout out to all of the wonderful countries that are listening to me here on Voice America Network, or maybe you're listening to me on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Speak Up Talk Radio, and I think there's one more that I'm missing, but nevertheless, all of those are channels that I have been syndicated on, so you might be listening for any one of those. But I want to give a shout out to Ireland, who came in at #1 for listeners. I'm pretty sure I got the whole country of Ireland listening to me here. China, UK, Germany, Bermuda, Japan, Brazil, Canada, Ecuador, Finland, Hong Kong, Peru, Russia, Senegal, Sweden, Australia, Malaysia, France, Pakistan, Spain, Ukraine, Vietnam, and of course, here at home in the US of A. So thank you all for joining in and listening to Beauty Inside and Out, because what we do know is that beauty transcends time and it transcends location. Because at the end of the day, I think that there is something about beauty that we all want to be touched by, that we all want to feel, that we all want to experience. And although most of my guests that are listening, or most of my listeners that are joining me from all parts of the country, my guest today is joining me from my old hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. And you know what? Jean is she's one of my favorite people right now, because I just did a photo shoot with her and she captured some of the most beautiful images that I've ever seen of myself. And that is not a comfortable thing for me to say, because I've always been somebody that's like, I don't like my picture taken. But she really believes that every woman should enjoy their photo shoot and love their images and have it be a fun and safe experience. And I know that to be true, and that's really happened. But the truth is we all struggle with seeing our own beauty and then being able to kind of feel comfortable with this illusion that none of us are photogenic. And I think the truth is that we are in the right environment. We are in the right spirit. We are in the right place in the right time with the right people. And Jean Laninga, hold on, I said that wrong. Laninga, yes, and she has a portrait studio and she's a photographer, and she is able to fulfill all of those things that she says. And her great little brand line is "Let's Get You Seen." And we're going to talk about the importance of being able to put yourself out there and get seen. So welcome, Jean, to the program.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I'm excited to be able to share you is really what it comes down to, because I had the most amazing experience with you. Now, I had recently, in the past years, most of my listeners know, moved to Atlanta and was really at this place where I knew I wanted to update my website. I knew I needed new images because I wanted to be relevant. I don't want an old image that's, I think my image was almost 10 years old. And it just started to not feel like me. Like, honestly, that wasn't the person I was anymore. So I knew that I needed some new images. I wanted to be able to start, powerfully putting myself out there with different campaigns. And I was actually looking for a photographer, and it always works this way. This is when the greatest and most beautiful experiences happen, is when somebody just randomly sends you the message and says, hey, I think you probably might want to connect with this person. So thank you, Shell, for connecting Jean and I. And we ended up getting on the phone pretty quickly from that connection. And I immediately was like, I'm going to be in Phoenix in September, and I want a photo shoot. And we managed to make all of this happen. Now, there was more than just the photo shoot, but before we get into that, I want Jean to be able to share a little bit about herself, because the truth is that she didn't come out of the womb and say she was going to be a photographer, or actually doing photos as her main career. So she's had a transformation herself from what she did to what she's doing now. And I can't wait to hear this part.
Thank you, Bonnie. And thank you for just encapsulating what I do so well. You get it, what I do, and you really embraced it. So thank you for summarizing that really well. But yeah, hi everyone. I'm Jean, and it's great to be here today. I come from a varied background. I started my education and career in textiles and clothing and design. So I kind of brought that into this current career. But in the meantime, I've worked in the corporate world in a box. I did the box, like the cube life. And I realized now, looking back, there is just no life in a cube. There is no life for a cube. I was not impacting anybody's life. So during that time, I've been dabbling in photography, just learning slowly how to use the camera, how to get the images from the camera into the computer, what to do with them, learning different software. And the career just evolved to about 2 years ago, when I discovered how to do portraiture for women. I was actually looking for who was Princess Diana's photographer, because I loved the way that she was photographed, just so clean and crisp and elegant, and she was posed beautifully. I want to know who that is. I want to follow their work. I want to find out what they do. So I came across a wonderful photographer. Her name is Sue Bryce, and she actually offers education for photographers and doing the business model. Everything photographers need to know to run their businesses, everything from posing and lighting to taxes and self-value, just everything. So I started just really sponging up her work and a lot of what she talks about, as well as self-image. So I bring all of that into where I'm at now. We moved into the studio where I'm at about almost 1.5 years ago. And this is a place that's safe. It's beautiful. It's, we say it's the no sorry zone. It's the no judgment zone. It's a place where women feel comfortable and beautiful and okay. It's okay to have your photos taken here. And one of the things that actually spawned this particular genre of niche of doing portraiture is that I have no shame in saying I'm 55. I have a lot of photos of myself that I don't love. And we don't talk about it over cocktails, but a lot of us have photos of ourselves that we don't love. And that's actually my client, is how can we work together to solve that problem? This is a problem that I want to solve. Every client that I work with brings me new information and new ways of bringing a beautiful product to my clients so that they do love their photos. That's my mission, is to give them the most beautiful picture that they've ever seen of themselves. And you are very typical, Bonnie, in that a lot of my clients have this gap of 10 to 20 years, sometimes more. And these are pictures that we're using on our business, as the face of our business. It's not accurate anymore. And as the millennials are coming more into the workforce, they want to see people. They want to make that connection. They want to build those relationships. They want to see the experience of working with you. And if it's not current and not relevant, it's misleading, or you're going to get passed up. So it was such a joy, Bonnie, to see you use the images in your website. It sparkles and it shines and it's relevant. And we were able to capture all the different facets of the businesses that you provide and bless people with. And you've plugged those in, and it's just really, really beautiful. And that's why I do what I do, is to really bless women, and in turn, who will bless their clients and the people that they work with.
I really liked your point, Jean, that you just said that with all the millennials coming into the workforce, they want that connection. I mean, and they're used to that. They're used to this online connection. They're used to kind of knowing people without knowing them intimately, just because of social media and the technology that they grew up with. And so if we're hiding behind our company or just using our logo as kind of our brand, there's no connection for people to be able to feel and sense what we're about. And that was really one of the things I looked at my image. And, 10 years ago when I started my businesses, I felt I had to portray this really strong, together person. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing as an entrepreneur, but my picture is going to prove otherwise. And as I've evolved over this 10 years, I realized that that's not who I am. It's not what I want to portray. And that I really needed, which, we see a lot more of, are these kind of more of these lifestyle pictures. People want to get to know you based on a picture. And I really think that statement's true. A picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah. And I appreciate the point that you made too, is you're different than you were 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you've changed, you've expanded, you've gone in different directions and grown, and you're not the same person. So
no, not at all. And it was, and listen, I'm in the world of beauty. So as much as I want to portray the most beautiful and youthful appearance, it's also, there's a level of authenticity and integrity that comes into play. I'm showing up doing speaking engagements. I'm showing up every week doing, radio shows live on Facebook. And the truth is that I can't have this image that looks like me as a much younger person. Like, I need the image to be relative and relevant to who I am now, because I really want to represent a very authentic beauty, real life beauty. And, obviously this show encapsulates ways to be able to look more youthful, whether you want to take an extreme of having plastic surgery, or whether you just want, a new skincare regime to give you, more healthy looking skin. And then in between there is being able to capture that in a photograph, which, I think, we're really in this selfie world, but I have never taken a good selfie.
I have some tips for you.
Okay, good. Well, I'm sure our listeners want to hear that too. We'll make sure that we fit that into the second segment before we close this up, because, I always feel like something is out of proportion when I'm trying to take a selfie. And yet, I think other people capturing the picture. So, well, I love your story. I love the fact that you shared that you really took the time to learn the business. And I think that's something powerful. I think there's mentors in every industry and every business, but you seem to found one that really supported you from technical training to business side. And it gave you the confidence to be able to just say, I'm doing this. I'm not going to work in a cubicle anymore. I'm doing it.
Thank you. It was a huge leap of faith, and it was the most terrifying decision I've ever made. And but nothing ventured, nothing gained.
That's right.
I'm at the age where I don't need to follow people's expectations so much. I'm following my own heart, and we had the finances to carry me through to see this through. And
yeah,
so it's been very exciting, and it's scary, but here it is. And every day we work at the business aspect of it, keep it going, networking, finding people's lives that we can touch, helping women to feel beautiful all along the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. So, okay. So we're going to talk about in our show today, we're going to talk a little bit about what are the blocks that women and even men can have in being able to want to have their images taken. We're going to talk about why it's important to be able to kind of like, have this archive of who you are, especially because there's so many, you know, minipreneurs, entrepreneurs, femalepreneurs out there right now that are trying to, you know, create a business. And the image is really important to be able to making that connection. And then we're going to talk about some technical things that might be able to help us to not only find the right photographer. If all my guests from Ecuador and Finland and Hong Kong and Peru don't choose to come to Arizona to work with you, but you know, maybe some tips on how to be able to find a great photographer. And then I know that you are going to be sharing with us in the end just a little bit more about the kind of the importance of this and how to be able to feel comfortable in doing this process. Because, you know, I've worked with many photographers in the past. I have a lot of friends that are photographers, but I got to tell you, I'm not sure that I would have been as comfortable with them to capture what you captured. There was something absolutely peaceful about being able to trust that you were going to find the best me. Yeah. So let's start with what do you think are the most common blocks that we're faced with when women getting their images taken?
Okay. Well, this is back to solving problems. The first thing I usually hear with most women after we talk about getting pictures is, "Oh, I'm not photogenic. I hate getting my picture taken." So I help people to understand that most of us are not naturally photogenic. It does take some training, and you know, celebrities and models, they see cameras and they're on and they know how to project that. We don't have that training. We just come out like, you know, we're just us. So that's my job, is to help women to be photogenic in front of the camera. And it's a lot of puzzle pieces that we pull together to let them feel photogenic in their pictures. And go ahead.
Yeah, no. So what are those things? I mean, obviously wardrobe, hair, makeup, those are all the external things that are become part of the package and everything. But what are some of the internal things we're up against?
Just how we feel about ourselves and getting pictures taken. Yeah, that's another huge block. That's again, why do I not feel photogenic? And when we're 18 or 20, when we get our high school pictures taken, we feel beautiful and fabulous and young and fit and trim, and life just adds things to us, and we're wearing our life. So we have a few extra pounds on. I hear all the time, I want 20 pounds. 20 pounds seems to be the magic number.
Right. How many Spanx do I have to wear to make this picture look good?
Well, Spanx are always good no matter what your weight. Just keeps everything, you know, nice and in place.
They create nice lines.
But I can photograph women. Yes, yeah, we want to keep everything beautiful, no matter what our size or shape. I lost track there for a moment. So some of the failure points in that, I want to reassure women that I have their back. And I do that with the hair and the makeup. If they don't love their hair, if they don't love their makeup, they're not going to love their photos. And so that's part of the self-esteem that I've got you covered. It's okay. It's okay to be photographed now, you know, because what if you don't lose that 20 pounds? Mm-hmm. We don't want to wait. We don't really want to wait because, you know, things might happen and you won't get them done. You won't get them done in a timely manner. Just find a photographer that you trust that will photograph you beautifully, no matter where you are in life. So that self-esteem is wrapped up in sometimes a weight. Of course, we have just our face changes. I hear, what do you want me to address during the retouching process? And women usually point to this part of their neck as like, well, I got you there too, in several ways. Yeah. And then there's just that self-esteem. You know, I just don't feel, well, a lot of women that my age that I work with, we're dealing with menopause. We're dealing with kids leaving the home and feeling just different about our life and where we fit in with our family and our spouses and our careers. And we wear that. That's just the stress, you know, I want to wait until things calm down at home is another big block. Yeah. Well, they may not calm down at home, and you're still a beautiful woman and a mother and a wife and a partner and a businesswoman. Let's get you well documented, at least not for yourself, but for the people who love you. You know, that the people who love you have beautiful images of you to look back on. And so those are some of the other, just the self-value, self-confidence wrapped up in just all the things that are around us in our life at that time. Sometimes we've been told, oh, you're not beautiful, or we've been harassed at work. If, you know, things that just don't make us feel comfortable in the workplace. We have family that can be unkind to us. Or just we've never been told that we're beautiful. Even if we had a great upbringing and great surroundings, we've never been told we're beautiful. We've never been told, I appreciate you, I value you, you're important, you're beautiful inside and out.
I love all of those. And, you know, that was one of the things that was an interesting selling point for me, because I didn't think it was a key selling point, was that you were going to take care of the hair and makeup. So you have some local salon stylists and makeup artists that come in as part of your package for these shoots, so that they don't have to stress about that. And, you know, here I am, the hairdresser, and, you know, I do my own hair and my own makeup. And I was like, you know, oh no, I can probably do my own. But I all of a sudden realized, no, this is me pampering me. This is me creating a moment where I get to express myself, but not try to control the expression. So when you brought in Cy South, and shout out to Cy, and I saw her at Long Beach hair shows, so it was great to connect with you, Cy. And she's from Main Attraction Salon, so that's one of the salons in Phoenix that you work with. And she came out, and you kind of do this reveal thing, which was really interesting, because you wouldn't let me see my hair or my makeup until we were kind of like done and we got the reveal. And I honestly, I think there was a moment where when we turned me in front of the mirror, I wanted to cry. I was like one of those people on those like makeover shows. And I wanted to cry because Cy really gave me this look that I was so comfortable with. There was nothing about it that I didn't like. She captured me really well. She styled me in a way that felt like me. It wasn't overdone. I wasn't over made up or anything like that, but she understood the rules of photography to be able to make sure that I had the right, the right amount of makeup and the right kind of makeup to be able to really make me look fantastic. So that was an amazing experience. Being able to be kind of like pampered and catered to in an area that I usually am catering and pampering others.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah. So that was.
I do find that the hair and the makeup is one of a major failure point in either they just come in having done their makeup themselves, or they're getting their hair done here, their makeup done there, and they're stressed by the time they get to the studio. They're late. They're like all just stressed out. So I do want to not only pamper my clients while they're in here, have some treats while you're here, and just enjoy the time. Turn your phone off, and just enjoy being taken care of. But we also want to make sure that it's done properly. And that when you saw your makeup for the first time, we also wanted to make sure that you loved your look before you came in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. So we made a couple of changes that you wanted, and then I took a final look and say let's just tweak this a little bit. So the most important part was that you love your look before we go forward.
Oh yeah, I mean she really captured me. It wasn't overdone. It wasn't too little. It wasn't too much. She did a great job with that. And of course my makeup and hair pretty much, other than touching up my lips after lunch, my makeup and hair stayed all day too. So I felt very comfortable that I didn't have to keep messing around with it in order to kind of keep the look and the images going as we kind of progressed through the day, because we really did spend a day together.
We did. And we didn't have anything scheduled on the back end, and you had some fun in the evening after that. And I think one of the important things that we make sure is that we talked about it beforehand. That was part of our consultation, is how do you want your hair and your makeup done? We don't want to assume. So, you know, maybe you want, because you're in the beauty industry, maybe you want a little more glam, or maybe, you know, some other businesswoman wants it just toned down a little bit. So it's just beautiful and natural, but just where she shines, her natural beauty shines through. And but for everyone, that they're the best version of themselves.
Yeah, it was great. Now, there were some other really amazing opportunities that I loved that I got to be a part of, that you gave me options to be able to participate in. And one of them was with Clarissa Ringwald. And she is a feng shui specialist in kind of the wardrobe and the color scheme. And we actually had her on the show in November. So I'll post it on Facebook if you want to go back and listen to her show again. But she really helped me. And mind you now, again, this is where I really think that the future is so much fun and is working in our favor, because we went on Zoom just like we're on right now. And I literally brought my closet up to my computer and started showing her different outfits. And then she guided me. I did this kind of this preview, and then filled out this form. So she kind of got to know me, my body. She asked for a picture of me, a full length picture of me. And then we kind of went through what shapes look best on me, what's gonna enhance these photos, what colors should I be wearing, what textures, you know, what type of jewelry and shoes and earrings, everything from that point on. She really guided me. And it's funny because I think that we naturally gravitate to these things. And sometimes when we go off that maybe that design that looks best on us, we're not comfortable. So we might try to bring these things to a photo shoot and not feel comfortable in them. And then it just makes it harder for you, the photographer.
Well, it shows. If you're not comfortable in your clothes, it's going to come through.
Yeah.
For sure. So, and that's the other, I'm glad you brought that up, but that is another main failure point there, is wardrobe and accessories. So I'm glad that you took that service up. That offer of that service up to really pull your wardrobe together for the photo shoot, because we know that you loved all of the pieces and that they photographed well, and that's something that you wouldn't know from my end. So we at teamwork, we pulled it all together. And another fun thing we did that Clarice helped you with was with the different facets of your business and your life. She pulled together outfits for each one of those. So kind of separate. So we had five or six different looks that we did.
I think we had 5 or 6 different looks, and then you know, and you know, out of 5 or 6 different looks, like, you know, 3 or 4 of them are just going to be outstanding, and a couple of them are going to be, you know, piecing them together type of thing. But we did really really well with, I had more than enough, but the ones that I thought were going to be powerfully most comfortable for me were the ones that ended up looking great.
Being the strongest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know what? We're going to take a quick break right now, Jean, and so we can hear some sponsor messages. And we want to thank Jean as well, Laninga Portraits, for sponsoring our show today as well. But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear some sponsor messages for a few minutes. But for all my Facebook friends that have joined me, remember, we're still live throughout all this. So you'll get a little backstage here with Jean for a couple of minutes until we go back live on the podcast on Voice America. So stand by. We'll be right back. All right. So thanks for joining us, everybody. All right, Gerard, a big shout out to you, or Gerald. I'm not even sure how to say your name. It probably has a French accent, which I'm going to be terrible at. But he is one of my French followers from France that is always listening to me every week, and he always jumps on and joins us. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you hanging out with us. And we got Trace, and I know you're in New York for New York Fashion Week. So I want to see some good images from you. Loretta, Marla, Jalia, thank you for joining us. And you know what? I want you to be a guest on the show as well. So thanks for joining me today. And let's see, we got a few others here. Gabrielle and Janine. Hi, Janine from Revitalash is with us as well. So thanks you guys for watching Beauty Inside and Out from Facebook Live. And of course, you can always hear Beauty Inside and Out on all of my syndicated channels as well, including my website at bonniebonadeo.com. And maybe you want to be a guest. And if you would like to be a guest, I would love to hear from you. And you can email me, bonnie@bonniebonadeo.com. If you are interested in packaging up an opportunity to be able to be a sponsor or advertiser with Beauty Inside and Out, we just got syndicated on Spotify. So with over 50,000 listeners right now, I'm looking for that to be able to grow even more a month than what we currently have by being on Spotify as well, because I love Spotify. All right, Jean, some little behind the scenes here. So tell us, what's one of your favorite moments then after you capture images from people? What's one of your favorite moments that you see that happens with your clients?
I think the most rewarding thing is when they see their pictures. If I do a print reveal, they have them all behind a curtain up on a wall, printed and matted. And I open up the curtain and they just go, "Is that me?" It's like, "Yes, that's you." And I had a friend of mine that I photographed just say it so well. She said, "I never really knew what I look like. I avoid looking at myself in the mirror, and I just never really knew what I look like." So that was a beautiful way that she expressed that, and very typical, I think, of a lot of women.
You know, it's true. It's like, I think younger, we're more focused on what we look like and the perfection and trying to make everything perfect and tidied up. But I noticed that, you know, as I get older, I use the mirror to put my makeup on and make sure that, you know, my clothes are kind of in order. But I'm not like in front of a mirror a lot. Are we coming back?
Yep, coming back.
Okay, we're coming back.
You are listening to Beauty Inside and Out with Bonnie Bonadeo. If you have a question or comment about our show, please send an email to bonnie@bonniebonadeo.com. That's bonnie@bonniebonadeo.com. Now back to Beauty Inside and Out.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My guest today is Jean Laninga, and she is from Jean Laninga Portrait. And she was the photographer that I used to have some fantastic images done of me last fall that I have incorporated into a lot of my my radio show, my website, some of the branding that I'm doing right now. And I got to tell you, it was an amazing confidence boost to be able to have really good professional images that I could kind of utilize in ways to be able to make sure that my brand was getting out there, but more importantly, my brand was connecting with some of my ideal customers. And it was allowing people to get to know me, not just based on what I'm saying or how I'm, you know, promoting myself, but also just based on the image, that they could look at that and just be like, okay, yeah, she looks like she's trustworthy. She looks like she knows what she's talking about. She looks fun. I don't know, whatever those things were that people might resonate with in the images. So I was very, very impressed with Jean. And if you heard in the first segment, Jean did not start out as a photographer and has been doing it for 20, 30 years. She really loved and was very passionate about this and learned what she needed to learn, and now is building a fantastic business, being able to take portraits of people. And tell us then, Jean, who's kind of your ideal client?
My ideal client is someone just like you or myself. We're both mature women, and that's where my passion lies, because I know where you're at and what your blocks are, and my heart goes out to you and the way it goes out to how I feel. So it's the mature woman, 40 or 50 over, a businesswoman, someone who is a little bit leery about getting in front of the camera, not wanting to have her face on her business cards. So I want to create those images for her that she's happy to use on her website and all of her marketing materials as the face of our brand, and also to be happy to pass out her card with her picture on it.
Oh, I love that. You know, back in the day, the only people that put pictures on their cards were real estate agents. And now it's like, you know, that connection has to be made, and it's okay. But again, you know, you got to be comfortable with the portraits that you have. So So one of the things, obviously there's that internal blocks that we talked about, and then there's these external things that we talked about as well, hair, makeup, wardrobe, and everything. So how do you as a photographer now pull it all together? Because it feels awkward. I mean, you have to be somewhat vulnerable. It becomes a very intimate setting of being able to kind of capture somebody in a particular way that you see, that if I'm just standing there, feels completely awkward.
Are you talking about just posing or pulling all the puzzle pieces from the beginning to the
pulling
end?
it all together and then into posing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because it all kind of ends up in posing, all these little puzzle pieces that we pull together. But just like what we did with you, Bonnie, we start with a kind of a consultation where we discover who you are, who your brand is. We get into your brand and into your headspace.
Mm-hmm.
That really helps me to formulate a picture for your brand. We'll ask questions as what are you known for? What do you want to be known for? What are your strengths? Who is your competition? How do you want to rise above them? How are you different from them? I think we went through quite an extensive questionnaire, and even to where do you want to use these images. So we pull all of that information together. And it goes down to, again, the hair and the makeup and the wardrobe to make sure that they're in line with what we've talked about and how you want to represent yourself and your brand. So then when we're in the studio, it can be just a subtle change in pose. If you want to be like powerful and in command, we'll do this. Or we can just, I don't know if you can see me, but it's just a subtle change, just bringing that arm underneath the elbow instead of tucked in. It's a softer power pose. We can bring your chin forward or lean you more forward to bring more assertiveness or aggressiveness into the image. Or we can pull you back to say, let's be more friendly and approachable and let's chat. We can pose you on a couch, and there's different ways that we can pose your legs, your arms, your facial expressions, even down to a twinkle or a smile. So it's tons and tons of discovery and pulling puzzle pieces together to create this final image. It's not just magic that happens. it's like, boom, there it is. It looks easy, but it is a process that takes time and that culminates in this beautiful image that really speaks to our audience and connects us with them.
Oh, yes. But there is magic. You have some magic in there, because there was this moment where we were capturing the picture, and it was kind of like I wanted to start out more in a professional power pose, I guess you would say. And then I wanted to work my way down to a more casual approach to things, because I felt like I needed to get that out of the way. Like, let's get this one out of the way so I can be more free in this day that we were spending together. And I'll never forget, that there was this one moment that you captured it. I could see it on your face. There was something that you did. You just kind of lit up. You knew you captured it. And you turned around and you just showed me from your camera. And I just wanted to kind of go into tears, because I'm like, that's it. Like, we're done. I can change my clothes now into another outfit. And that felt really good. It felt really good to do that.
Yeah, it's definite teamwork.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely was teamwork and everything. So, I had, and I'll kind of describe for the listeners a little bit here. I have 3 very significant different businesses that I kind of cater to. And although I'm the same person in all of these businesses, they do have a different kind of persona about them. The radio show, I wanted to kind of be fun and a little bit more entertaining feeling. The Beauty Agent Network that I run, I wanted it to kind of have more of a seriousness tone to it. And, then my coaching and speaking business, I wanted it to feel free, because, one of the things that I know, especially as a female speaker, is there's not a lot of us out there. And if you ran kind of like a Google search on, female keynote speakers or anything, they all have this very stoic, very business kind of image about them, and everybody looks alike. And I really wanted to make sure that in that particular category of my speaking and coaching business, that I looked very approachable. and that image was going to portray not only trust and a level of expertise, but that I was approachable and friendly. And those were great images that we were able to capture as well. So I had a game plan based on Jean supporting me in that kind of plan of action that we were going to go through. So I knew what I was trying to portray. And then it was really a matter of her making all of that happen. And it's important. I mean, we have to talk about the importance of just archiving, a little bit of ourself as well. I mean, I think we can kind of go back to when we first, like, say we had a child or maybe a puppy, and we took pictures of that child and that puppy, like, for the first 5 years. And then all of a sudden it was like, there's less and less and less images. And as we become adults, unless we're out and about in kind of public environments or social environments, we may not be getting or capturing that archived photographs of ourselves. And I think it's important that we do.
It is important. And let me touch on that a little bit. My mom passed away a year ago, and she was just like the rest of us. She did not feel photogenic. And she, when she passed away, we went through her home. We're always looking, when someone passes away that you love, you look for pictures. So we found 3 beautiful studio images that she had. And it must have taken her a lot of courage to get up and do that. But just having those images are so dear to me. And if I didn't have those, we have the snapshots and all of that, but just those beautifully posed, lit studio images were so meaningful to have. And we often forget, I'm not photogenic. I don't want photos of myself. But what about your children, and your grandchildren? What are they going to be looking for when you're gone? Or what are they going to pass down to their children? It's not always,
that. And
yeah,
I remember you showing me the pictures of your mom as well. And they were beautiful and so memorable. Like that's what you get to have now. You get to still have your mom in that way that really expresses her and everything. And, but I think it's important, especially for business people, to really make sure that they're getting these professional photographs done to be able to capture and utilize as a talking point to whatever business they do. I mean, it's not just for real estate people anymore. It's anybody that has a business. We want to be able to connect with that person one-on-one.
Yeah, people want to know what it looks like to do business with you, what that experience looks like. So even if we just do headshots, we want to bring a little of that experience somehow into that picture, be it for you via your facial expression or your environment or your pose. We also want to bring that element of your business into the website. You doing what you do, where you do it, who you do it for. And those bring in they make your business sparkle. They make your visual presence really sparkle and even connect you more with that perfect audience. If they want to see a little bit about you too, not just can you do the job.
Right. And so a brand is really an important part of that. And I know that we may have the opportunity to work together in the future in regards to this topic here. Really having an understanding of who you are as a person was so important to you in order for you to capture that so that you could portray it. So, in my case, my brand is I'm a connector. So I couldn't look overly aggressive or stoic in my pictures. I had to look like I really wanted to reach out to you. There was really this opportunity to connect with you in those images and not have it be so, dominant, I guess, as far as an image. And so I really appreciated you being able to capture a softer side of me.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, I don't just sit people down and take their picture. And I can see the difference even with just taking a simple headshot. I want to know a little bit about you just so I can get it, really help you connect with your audience, even through that simple little headshot, through posing and facial expression, head tilts. I can't just sit you down and take your picture. I can't do it.
No, and that's what made the experience so amazing. So, I know that your ideal client is a female, and certainly somebody like me is an inspiring entrepreneur. But I noticed that you do men as well. Do they have some of the same concerns and insecurities that women do?
Interestingly, not as much. I have worked with men that just really don't like images of themselves, but a lot of men will just, they know they need to do it, so they'll just come in and do it. But they always leave saying that they've had fun, because we try to make it fun. We'll again talk a little bit about wardrobe, make sure everything, their colors are still good, their suit fits well if they're wearing a suit, if everything photographs well. But they are really fun. They're not so as concerned as we are with how they look. So they often just sit how you naturally, just sit and talk to me for a minute, and I will usually expand on that pose. And they just usually photograph in a very fun way. But they do have body issues as well, that they're if they've gained some weight, they've lost some weight, they want to make sure that they're portrayed accurately or in the best way. They still want to be photographed flatteringly as well. So I use a lot of the same techniques as I work with women.
Perfect. Good.
They're easier.
What tips can you give us for taking some good selfies?
Well, the first and most important tip is to keep your chin out. And you probably went home from your session hearing my voice saying chin out and down.
Chin out and down.
Chin out and down. Or think of just bringing your nose out towards the camera. And you're going to feel it back here. It just feels kind of like a turtle. And you can see how it does with me. It just really defines the chin, lengthens the neck, and then we'll bring it down until you don't see this part of your neck right under here. You want to tip it down.
Which is why I want to wear turtlenecs. Although it's a beautiful day here in Atlanta, it's like 80 degrees. I had to actually turn on my air conditioning today.
Oh, it's warmer there than it is here.
Yes.
If you want to face the light, if you can find a window, even better. That's why pictures in your car come out really well.
Is that why everybody takes pictures in their car and does all their Facebook Lives in their car?
It's got this beautiful light just bouncing around, and it's very flattering. It fills in everything, and the other thing is you want to make sure that your camera is even with find out where your camera is actually on your phone. Is it up here or down here, or where it is? Line that up with your eye, and maybe just a little bit higher.
Okay. And to kind of give that more of that top view.
Not so high, otherwise you're going to look at pictures and your forehead's going to be huge and your chin's going to be tiny. You're going to be all out of proportion. So bring it down a little bit to bring it back to real.
Perfect. Okay, good. So chin out like a turtle, good lighting, and then kind of have it just a little high, but not too high.
Yeah, maybe just a couple inches of a eye, because we are not this person.
Right. Yes. That's what I think. That's why I think everybody looks terrible in their selfies unless they're Kim Kardashian, right?
Yeah, we scrunch in naturally.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're trying to do this, and then we're doing these awkward things. And what other tips can you give us maybe to have somebody, if they're in an area and they can't come out and visit you in Phoenix, to be able to have a fantastic photo shoot? What are some tips to find a good photographer?
Ask your friends on Facebook, and then look at the recommendations. Look at their website. Do you love their work? Do the women look authentic and genuine? Do they look like they've really brought out who that person is and what they want to represent? And find out a little bit about their education. Call them and ask them if you can just chat with them. It's a huge investment, both emotionally and financially.
It is.
A little bit about them and their work. So it's important to do this with the same thing too. Ask for referrals. Do the people that love their photos, and follow people on Facebook. Ask for referrals.
Perfect. Well, I want everybody to be able to check out Jean's website, which is your name.
Yes.
.com, or is there portrait.com?
It's just jeanlaninga.com.
jeanlaninga.com, and I'm going to make sure that goes on Facebook here. So give us a little bit more insight then of what you want the experience to be like for people in getting their photography, and how powerful this experience is. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to put your website here on our Facebook page.
Mostly I want it to be fun. It's something that people don't really enjoy doing, or don't like the end result. So I want it to be fun. I want it to be enjoyable. I want you to come back and have a refresh sooner than 10 to 20 years. So those are really important things. I want you to feel that you are beautiful. I want you to leave with the best images that you've ever had of yourself, or that you really do love them. On the off chance that you don't, we'll do it again until you do love them. At some point, there might be a failure point, and we will work at it until you love your pictures.
That's
my
good.
mission. Yeah.
Well, I know that, as part of my package, I had more than enough to choose from. So I had to really kind of narrow down which ones I wanted. But I loved that you gave me the option to be able to say, hey, at any time, come back. If you remember, some of the images that you liked or that you now see you being able to utilize for a different campaign or a different approach, come back and we'll look at what we can do to, add those to my portfolio. But I was off to a really good start. But it was good to know that there were other images that I'm like, okay, I know that there's some good saved ones in there.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
That's right.
I'm always here.
Right.
I'm always here for you.
And I love the idea of, you kind of sparked a really great moment for me because, my mom is a twin and it's her birthday this Saturday, actually. So happy birthday, Mom. And her twin lives in New Jersey and then my mom's in Arizona. And they don't get to see each other very often. But if they're ever in Phoenix together and my aunt comes out to visit, I would love to have them come down and have a portrait together.
A generation.
Because they have a portrait like that was from the newspaper in their small town when they were born as babies. And I just think it would be really great to have them have one fabulous picture of them. So I'm going to see if I can't make that happen and invite you in there.
Wow, that would be so meaningful to have that for everybody.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, really, that touched my heart when you were sharing that about your mother. And I'm thinking, that's what I want for my mom.
Yeah, before you can't.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great gift idea as well, is being able to, just gift some really great portraits and have them feel good about themselves. Because sometimes we don't feel good about ourselves as we kind of progress into that older age. And we do become very self-conscious of, don't take my picture, Yeah. Well, this has been amazing and delightful. And I know that you have an opportunity that you'd like to share with all of our listeners. So for those of you that can make it out to Phoenix, or for those of you that are in the Phoenix or surrounding area, I want you to take advantage of this opportunity to be able to work with Jean. So Jean, will you share with us what that opportunity is?
Sure. I'd like to offer any of Bonnie's listeners $100 off their portrait package. So.
Perfect. Good. So that's going to be, and how they're going to find you.
They can find me on my website. It's jeanlaninga.com, and Bonnie will forward that information to you, and you can connect me through there. All my information is on all of my website. Easy to find.
Laninga. So Jean, Jean. Laninga. I put it here. I posted it here on Facebook. So check that out, you guys. And she's got some beautiful work on the site, and you can contact her through this site as well to be able to do that and take advantage of the other opportunities that she offers, like with Clarissa, to be able to do the feng shui style opportunity, because it was really a lot of fun for her. I mean, there was one thing that she said to me that I just loved. She's like, I know you love this, this particular style, but you probably are feeling self-conscious in it. And it was kind of like more of an A-line type of a dress instead of more of a sleek type of dress. And I'm like, you're right. Every time I put it on, it looks beautiful on the hanger. I put it on and I feel awkward in it. Mm-hmm. So I know not to buy those kind of clothes anymore. So she really guided me all the way from the jewelry to wear, the shoes on my feet, to the style of clothing in between, so that I could feel confident and beautiful every time I walk out the door. And then, of course, Jean did a fabulous job of taking the wardrobe that Clarissa and I kind of pieced together to create some fabulous images for me. And I want you guys to check out my website, because that's where a lot of my images are up right now, so that I can be a great referral. So you can see the images that Jean took, and you can go to bonniebonadeo.com. And then if you want to connect with Jean as well, for all my listeners, you can go to my website at bonniebonadeo.com/free-gift. And that will be able to get you to Jean's website. You'll click on Jean's image there, and then that will get you to her website to be able to take advantage of that $100 savings on there. So thank you, Jean. It's been amazing connecting with you again. I look forward to being able to support some of your clients down the road with being able to help them define their brand and really, really trust who they are so that they can have images captured as beautiful as mine.
Awesome. Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you. All right, you guys. So next week we're into Valentine's Day, and I was really hesitant to do this. I didn't want to do it, but I'm actually doing a show, and my fiance and I are doing the show together, and we're going to be talking about our love story and how our love story has expanded into now a business. And so I look forward to sharing all of that with you next week. So we're going to be talking about the beauty of love, but this month in itself is all about empowering women. So if you love empowering women, then the whole month is surrounded by empowering women. So I look forward to you joining me each and every week. And remember to always be you in beauty.
All clear. Great job.